Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Boy Stutter, episode 7. I'm Kendra.
And I'm Kayla.
And yeah, today we got a really fun, exciting topic for you guys today.
Yes, falling in love with potential. Messy, messy, messy.
So, why don't you explain exactly what falling in love with potential is for people who might not understand what we're talking about?
I mean, I feel like it's quite self explanatory, but it's just basically, you see someone, yeah, they're nice. You feel like you want to start dating them or whatever, but they just really don't tick all the boxes you had. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe they're not sentimental or whatever. You like an emotional guy, like the type of guy that cries, whatever, something like that. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's basically like you see someone, you want to date them, but maybe they're not exactly what you had in mind as your partner, but you date them because you feel like you'll be able to change them or be able to help them work towards being the type of person that you want. At the end of the day, that just means that you think that you could change them,
Yeah.
which is
So
not good.
basically, like a he's all that, she's all that situation,
Yeah, you just think that you could change a person, so you're dating them
minus like the
and
whole bet thing.
yeah, so you're just dating them and working towards molding them into that suited person for you.
Okay, so do you have any examples? Would you say where you fall in love with someone's potential and not?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't necessarily fall in love with his potential like my last boyfriend, but it was more so there are little things that during our relationship I was like, you know what? I just kept accepting and saying I could work with him to change it. Because we basically started dating because we were friends and then we fell in love that way. It wasn't necessarily like, like he's nothing I want kind of thing. Like I didn't initially think that, but the one thing I would say is that I knew from before we started dating that he wasn't necessarily that ambitious type of person. Like, and for
Mhm.
me, like I'm not like we are both like go getters. Like in high
Like you and
school,
I were both go-getters.
yeah, you and I were both go getters. So like we were just all about school, like in high school, like getting the career or whatever and things like that. And he was more laid back. Not saying that he just didn't care, but he was more whatever about it. So that was the one thing that I knew before we started dating, and I felt like while we're in the relation in our actual relationship, I kept trying to like make him be the type of person, like make him be like me, like who cares about school, cares about job and stuff like that. So I think I was trying to change him in that sense, which is not really the
Yeah, I
best.
saw that.
Yeah, I was always like, can you do this? Can you do this? Like, you need to focus more on that, which I felt like it did help him at the end of the day. Like, he did end up getting a job and being a little bit better in that sense. But I definitely tried to change him and make him more like me, like a studious type of person, I would
Yeah.
say. And he was just more chill or whatever. And then another thing I would say is I'm like a more like emotional, sentimental person. Like I love like gifts. Like when it's your birthday, I'm like doing the most, but for my birthday, I don't really care. But like I'm just like doing gifts and like writing letters and things like that and doing like those cute things. And like he necessarily wasn't that type of person. Like he was like, letters, what? Like he was just like, oh,
Yeah.
like this cheesy, like he doesn't really like do that kind of stuff, or he didn't really do that kind of stuff at the time. So for me, I felt like I was trying to force him to be that type of person, like be that sentimental guy. So every time it was like a holiday, I'm like, oh, like, am I getting a letter? Like, am I getting
Yikes.
this? Like, basically trying to force him to like write the letter. It wasn't like he just willingly did it. So I felt like I was trying to change him in that sense to make him be more of the caring guy that I had wanted. Like I always said, like I wanted some guy that's like shows a bit of emotion and things like that. And like he just wasn't that. So I was trying to make him be the type of person. So yeah, I feel like that causes a lot of arguments when you do that because at the end of the day, like the person that's just not who they are, so it's just unnatural. So,
And they kind of eventually feel like you're nagging them and kind of becomes
mhm.
like a parent and kid relationship.
Yeah, because every time I'd be like, oh, like, like Valentine's Day is coming up, like, I better be getting my letter or whatever. He's like, oh, like, I wasn't really planning on writing one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, excuse me, like, what do you mean you're not planning on writing one? You know, I like letters. Like, I was just,
Yeah.
so it's just little stupid arguments we would get into. And then, like, even the thing with schoolwork, like, sometimes he didn't really want to do work. I'm like, excuse me, like, put down the games. Like, it's time to be like studying, like, doing your homework. Like, I felt like I was being a mom.
Yeah.
But again, like where the potential part comes in is like I still like just let it like slide. I was just like,
Because
oh
you thought that he would change
yeah,
because
I'm
he
like,
liked you.
yeah, I'm like, like eventually he's not gonna complain about writing the letters. Like eventually he's gonna do this. So I'm just like, I'm just sitting back, like, yeah, it's fine for now, it's fine for now. So at the same time, I'm trying to change him and like at the end of the day, I just thought that I just saw him being something different. Like if I kept working with him, I'm like, if I keep doing this, like he'll be like this person that I ideally want type of thing. So
Yeah. So yeah, I
yeah.
definitely fell in love with the potential there. But not
Hmm.
to say that he was a bad guy anyways, but it's
Yeah, he
just
definitely wasn't. But again, it's just little things that
mm-hmm.
that I felt like were missing that I was looking for in a partner. But
Yeah, that you
yeah,
already went into the relationship knowing that
knowing.
he was missing, but
Hmm.
you saw the potential of him getting to that point
Yeah,
and being like the perfect man.
yeah, basically. But yeah, he definitely wasn't a bad guy or anything. But I was just like, yeah, like I'll be able to make him more emotional. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
thing missing. That's the only thing missing. And
Yeah.
yeah, I should just accepted him for everything that he was instead of like forcing him to write letters and doing all this shit.
Yeah. And to me, it's like, I don't know, like you having to force him to write letters, like, doesn't even make sense because I don't know. At that point, it's like when you're in a relationship, you kind of have to know what your person's love language is,
Yeah.
and kind of adjust the way that you do things to meet them halfway. So if he knew that you like letters and it was just becoming something where you still had to keep reminding him and it just didn't come natural to him in the relationship, at that point I'll just be like, screw this shit. Like it's just not coming natural. So
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
again, then that's the thing. Like I said, I'm like
you
fell in
saw
love
the
with the potential.
potential.
I saw the
Yeah.
potential of him like getting better or just accepting it. Like so I
Yeah.
just said, okay, like let me just work with him for now.
Yeah.
Eventually, like he'll be the type of person that just does it and
Yeah.
just
But it's
loves
like
doing
when they
it.
just show you that they're not getting to that point, like you just have to really just listen to that call and just say, okay. But then again, like that, I guess that wouldn't really have to be something that ends a relationship because
Mm-hmm.
not everybody is that way and you can't really force them to be that way. And even though it's something that you would like no one's ever going to find the perfect man. So anyone who's in
Yeah.
a relationship right now, I guarantee you the person they're with is not meeting all their checklist or whatever.
Yeah,
If
and
they have a list, they're
that's
not
actually a
meeting all
good
the
thing too.
qualities.
Yeah, like that's like a learning lesson too for me because I felt like I was trying to just like make sure like he had everything. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, like yeah, you have to work with the person in your relationship with. Like no one's gonna
Yeah.
have everything. Like no one's perfect, so you're not gonna find someone that ticks every single box.
Yeah,
Like
so it's like, okay, which
yeah,
is probably why you did end up staying with him anyways, like regardless of that, even though you
mm-hmm.
still kept trying, it probably wasn't because only because you thought, oh, one day he's just gonna write me letters, but you just
Mm-hmm.
realized all the other good things that he was doing,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's why you stayed, but you were just still hopeful that he would just strengthen up that whole sentimental piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in a relationship, you have to compromise and you kind of have
Mm-hmm.
to meet people halfway. Like I said, like, okay, they're not this kind of person. So if he did not write you a letter, but maybe he did something else instead, that shows, okay, he made the effort. Like he's not a sentimental person, but he did X, Y, and Z. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the letter that I was anticipating, but at least he tried, kind of thing.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good point too. Like he did do other stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just like, oh, he didn't write a letter, like let's break
Yeah.
up type of thing. But
Exactly. Which I
yeah.
think is why a lot of people who have fallen in love with someone because they saw their potential, they do stay in a relationship because even though they're still not checking off those boxes that you already knew they were like the qualities that they were lacking when you got into the relationship that you thought they would gain later on in the relationship, they're making up for it in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So you just stick around in that sense because they're making up for it in other ways, and you still have that little ounce of hope that that little piece that's missing will eventually be put into play.
Yeah, I think so for sure. But yeah, again, like I just said, like just never try and change someone. That's just the biggest thing. So
Yeah,
that's
just
where
cause
people,
arguments.
yeah, that's where people run into the issues with the whole potential thing. Because at the end of the day, like I was saying, like, yeah, you really are trying to make this person different. So
And yeah, you can't change someone who also doesn't want to be changed or
mm-hmm,
doesn't even realize that there's something that they need to work on. Because for
mm-hmm.
him, it's like, oh, I'm just not this kind of person. Like, deal with it or not.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like, oh no, but like maybe you'll get there one day. And maybe he in his head he was just like,
I'm never gonna be that type of
like
person type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, I would say when it comes to falling in love with potential, I wouldn't say I've fallen in love with someone's potential in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
but I always say this, but I watch too many like teen dramas and like romance
Yeah, you
movies.
really have become obsessed with that idea, that
Yeah,
fantasy.
so
It's
I
such a
just
mess.
I just have it in my head that I'm just gonna fall in love with someone like at a coffee shop, or we're just gonna have like this romantic and really intense story, which obviously not everyone is fortunate enough to have. But yeah, for me, I really fall in love with the potential based on like stories. So there's this one guy who I knew in elementary school, And like we had a connection back then. Obviously, we are young, like we're kids, but like I had like what you would call just like a young crush.
Yeah.
And then we had reconnected, I want to say 8 years after elementary school. So what was this, like in 2012, at like a couple parties. And then yeah, we had a good time at the first party, and then I had seen him a second time at another party, and I was like so drunk that I couldn't even interact with the man.
Yeah, that was really a tragic night because he was
Yeah.
trying to talk to you and you were just not there. Like,
Yeah, so I was a zombie. So he was trying to talk to me. He's like, Kendra, Kendra. And I was just like staring at him. And then, yeah, that was the last time I ever saw him. Not a good impression, really. But we still like had each other on social media. Like I was using Twitter a lot at that time. And I don't know why we just never really like spoke like that. It was kind of like I'd like his tweets and stuff, but I never really went out of my way to make it a relationship. And like I said in another episode of this podcast, I just feel like back then I wasn't really focused on dating. I don't know why. Like I just didn't really even try because I don't know. It just never really like crossed my mind. I was just like, oh yeah, like we met at a party, like had a good time, whatever. But where the potential aspect comes in is in like a couple years ago. So in 2019, I matched with the same guy on Bumble. So here I am matching with this guy on Bumble, and I'm like screaming.
Yeah, you're just like, yes, this isn't gonna be that story.
Yeah, because he literally just like I had just forgotten about him. Like he wasn't even in my mind, like since because I didn't speak to him since 2012. So now in 2019, when I matched with him on Bumble, he's like everything's coming back now, and I'm like, oh my god, like if we were together, like we could be such a power couple because we have the same taste in music, like we got along so well back then, like our personalities are similar, and like I just saw the potential of that relationship because I was basing it off of the person that I knew back then and how we would have such a cute story. Like, you know, we reconnected through Bumble, like we knew each other since elementary school and like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, this is,
to step away from that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I was like, how cute of a love story would this be? But yeah, he didn't answer my message on Bumble because the time ran out. And to be honest, you don't even know if people are still using the app by the time you match with them. So whatever. So I never got a response from him on there. And it's gonna sound crazy, but like I was just so obsessed with the potential of us being like such a good couple that I took it a step further, and we have mutual friends. So I messaged one of our mutual friends and I was like, hey, like, have you spoken to so and so? And they were like, no, like I feel like no one's heard from him in like such a long time. Like, let me message him. And he didn't respond to that friend. And this person who I'm talking about was such a hype, like he was my hype person. So
yeah,
he really wanted me to reconnect with this individual. So he was messaging his friends and seeing like if anyone is still in contact with him. And I messaged my cousin who was friends with him. And long story short, like eventually by the end of this goose hunt, I was talking to his cousin, his brother, like trying to find this man.
Every single person, one person even blocked you.
Yeah, one person even blocked me, like so disrespectful. When I messaged them, like, hey, like, have you heard from so and so? They just blocked me.
Get away from me.
But yeah, and then his cousin like was actually really nice, and then his brother I spoke to. But yes, I don't know what happened to him, but at the end of the day, the story did not work out. I still have not heard from this man. He still has not opened any of my like DMs. So yeah, like hasn't opened them. It's not like he just, well, maybe he ignored them, but he just hasn't opened them.
Yeah, because then didn't you say like he was like liking stuff or whatever?
Yeah, like he's definitely still active on social media, but just not opening his DMs. So I kind of gave up on that now a little bit. But no, my other friend, I keep asking him, like, can you message so and so for me? But yeah, it's dead. It's just dead now. But yeah, I just get on these missions with guys I see potential with, which is unhealthy, but I just don't give up until like I really, really see that's not gonna work. So yeah, with this person, it's time to give up.
It's really not gonna work with this one. So.
Yeah, but yeah, like for me, like I fall in love with the potential with people if I see like a really cute love story, which is really unhealthy. But a lot of the guys I meet, I'm like, oh my God, like how cute would it be if we actually did end up dating? Because like we met like this.
And then you're like, what if we're at a coffee shop and I meet someone here? Like you just keep saying that. You're like, I just want a coffee shop moment or this.
Or not even like a coffee shop. Like I don't even know. Just
or
like
then when I was telling you the story about like this one person I was telling me like how they met their husband at like a Tim Hortons or whatever. You're like, oh wow, such a cute story. Like always like cute story. It's like some people like we met on Christian Mingle, like
but I mean even that is cute to me. Like meeting on Bumble, like I would get a freaking B tattoo. Like,
Is
what
it
the
though?
heck?
Because like you just keep saying you don't want to do that. You're like you want to have it happen the
I'm
natural way. So I don't know
no,
if you
I'm
think.
just saying for me that meeting in person is better for me because I don't really like these dating apps and texting in general. So for me,
Yeah.
like my personality really shines in person. So that's why I feel like an in-person moment would be stronger for me because my
Yeah.
personality really shines in person. On these dating apps, like it doesn't really come across. So
Yeah.
that's why I always say I feel like I just need to meet someone in person because they'll get my energy, they'll see the vibe like right away. I don't need to like prove it through text and like try my like it's not the same.
Yeah. But I really still feel like, yeah, you just want those in-person love story moments. Like
Yeah.
you drop a book or whatever and the person picks it up type of
Yeah.
thing. Like
Like I see someone at the airport. Yeah. Like legit. I still
yeah, you're on
hope
a
that
flight and the person sitting beside you, you end up
yeah.
dating type of thing. Like
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
Lord.
But I mean, at this point, meeting in person is not working out. So I don't even know. And neither are the apps.
Yeah,
So
nothing's working out.
it's
So
just depressing.
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, so for me, like basically to wrap this up, it's like you can't change a person when it comes to like dating and like trying to
And can't force
find
yourself on anyone either.
yeah, trying to find that suitable candidate. Like don't go into a relationship or go into dating the person thinking that you're gonna be able to change those little things that you feel like aren't really up to par because it doesn't work out and it's messy. And at the end of the day, you need to love the person and accept them for who they are. So don't fall in love for the potential.
Yeah, I mean, you can love them and accept them for who they are, yes, but then there are sometimes some things that you do need to work on. Like, you
Yeah.
should, yeah, like don't settle.
Yeah,
Like,
don't settle, but at the same time, don't. I'm just saying, like,
but
don't.
don't want to change everything about someone and
Yeah,
like just kick them to the curb because they're not meeting everything.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, eventually I feel like I'll let go of my hopeless romantic fantasies of meeting someone at a coffee shop, but maybe until I meet someone, I'll just still just hold on to that dream. Like,
Yeah, which is not good, but I'll let you.
it's not
I'll
like
let
I'm not
you.
trying to meet people other ways. So it's not like I've
Yeah.
just given up on dating apps and stuff and just said, oh no, I just want to meet someone in person. That's
Mhm.
it. I just still have hope for that. And these dating apps aren't working out. So
Yeah, well, I'll leave you to that. But
yeah.
that's the end of this episode. So again, thank you to everyone that's listening. If you're watching, whatever streaming platform you're consuming Hot Boy Stutter on, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we have one more episode left actually of this season. Really
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, it's been a fun time recording these and kind of sharing some stories. And I feel like our personality really does shine through these podcasts.
Yeah, which I really love. I feel like it's better than the other YouTube videos that we were doing. Like and it's just like a good casual chat, and then people like message us talking about some of these stories. Because again, like I feel like we haven't really told people some of these things,
Yeah,
so
and
you're
I
like
really
shocked.
feel
They
like
just
I
think you
do
to stay
sound
at
psychotic.
home. Like
Yeah. I do sound psychotic, but we're just being candid here. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's lots of girls who, or even like guys who have been chased after people that may have not necessarily shown interest in them, but you just have
yeah,
hope. So I'm very candid about my stories.
yeah. So until next time, talk to you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.